Hi, welcome to my overall thoughts on the game Battle Shapers. This is where I talk about my likes and my dislikes about the game. So the story is pretty simple. You first load into the lobby in the city of New Elysium, and you're quickly brought up to speed as to what's happening. Robots have taken over. They have gone rogue, Maverick, and it's your job to clean up the city to make sure everything's back in order. And at first, when I heard this, I was thinking of Megaman, which was nice. I was like, that's the same premise, and it's okay. This game plays similar as the core mechanics of Doom Eternal, Hellsinger, bullets per minute. It has that first-person shooter sci-fi element to it, and it's a roguelike. When I was playing it, though, the roguelike seemed to function around random upgrades and weapons that you unlock or find throughout the way. The maps that you eventually traverse through are similar to what a game called Gunfire Reborn and the way they approach it. It's pretty linear, but what you find inside of those biomes and or areas, it's what's randomized. So it was really neat. I enjoyed it. I like the art style aesthetic. It reminded me of Dead Cells when you get to see all your unlockable in the hub area, as well as when you look outside for the first time as you load into the game. It has that nice cartoony Overwatch, but yet robotic feel to the world. And again, it really reminds me of Mega Man, and I wasn't sure if there was inspiration to that, based off the premise and the overall outside view, until I seen the boss selection screen, and that's where I was like, yes, this is inspired by Mega Man. And I never really considered that I would even want a 3D Mega Man game, and this fits right into that. It's not gloomy, depressing, it's cartoony and fun. I really enjoyed my first couple minutes of playing Battle Shapers, because the first thing that stood out to me was that gigantic arm at the bottom left hand corner, and it is very useful, as you know, with my arsenal. Besides your shooting and punching, I abuse it. Not only can you use it for offensive and defensive capabilities to get more armor when you fully execute somebody while they're pink, you use it for traversal. It's a very short cooldown, and you use it as a boost since you don't really acquire a dodge in the beginning of the game. I quickly started to see what I can do with this arm, if I can go far or go to places I shouldn't be going to. And I quickly learned that yes, you can. I'm constantly punching in midair to get to areas and like just dodging mayhem. And it's a good feeling to have constant, I wouldn't say bunny hops, but more like jump thrust, to say the least. I was able to use this in two areas to get certain deciphers upgradable parts, just because I can punch midair and it can move my character forward. So I found that really neat about this game. Another aspect that I really enjoyed was the quality of life of being able to open up bins that you see throughout the fighting arena, so that contain currency, and you don't have to pick it up. That is very, very powerful and underlooked. There's a lot of roguelikes that have currency droppings throughout the level, and you have to actually pick it up yourself. This one, nope. Shoot. Don't worry about it. You'll collect it. I like the magnetism. No matter where you are on the map, you will get it. The last thing I want to mention before this video becomes a tips and tricks video would be going back to how amazing the arm feels to use. Again, I said I used it for, you use it mainly for finishing as a glory kill to acquire armor, but the way you can get that armor, it's what I find more intriguing. Obviously, you can just punch thrust the air to get traverse boost, and hit pink enemies to get armor. What I like about it is when you glory kill an enemy, They have an AoE attack, and not only that, but you can launch them into other enemies for massive damage. But better yet, if you cannot get to the pink enemy and then someone else is an obstacle is in front of you, instead of punching the staggered enemy, punch one of his buddies into him. Like if you're bowling, they knock each other out like they're bowling pins, and the effect still happens. And that's what I enjoy having multiple ways to achieve a glory kill, whether it be by hitting the staggered enemy or hitting other enemies into the staggered one. Now, what I did not enjoy about the arm and the glory kills is two things. Let's start with the arm. As good as it is to hit enemies that are on the ground, it is very frustrating to hit anything that is airborne. I've tried many times, and I can't seem to hit airborne enemies. It's like I don't stick to them. I could be literally 2 inches away from their face, and I cannot seem to connect my fist to their body. I don't know if it's because they're moving, but it does feel completely different from enemies that are running around on the ground. The next thing would be punching glory killed staggered enemies, takedowns, I guess. As good as it is to get armor and to create an AoE effect for massive damage, I feel like the risk for reward for glory kills could be slightly improved. When you do takedowns, glory kills, you do not get iframes, and there has been many times where I take damage because of that. The armor I would get from my glory kills is instantly taken away because I'm getting hit during the animation. Specifically, I got killed in this boss right here, and it did not feel good. I will get to bosses later, but I would like to see an improvement for iframes when performing glory kills. Alright, let's talk about bosses. It's going to be pretty short because it's already well known. The devs are looking into it, they're working fast, but everybody agrees that these bosses are way too strong and overpowered. You can go in with full health and full armor and it'll be gone in 2 seconds. They hit over like 60% of your health, if not 80. They're lightning fast. It's not even about the movement. I think it's more about the damage that they output to your character. Yeah, I've been playing about 13 hours of this game, and I'm having so much fun until I get to the boss. When I get to the boss, I'm not having fun anymore. I just go there to die. I'm learning that they don't have many movesets, which is they have about 3 to 4 movesets in total. So it's not difficult to learn, but it's difficult to master perfection about not getting damage. I think once it gets resolved with these overtuned bosses, most people would have fun, because that's what it is. You start to ignore how good the game is when something extremely unfair takes over and muddies the water. Almost every single enemy can do about 40 to 50 or even 60 damage to your character, as well as spawn mobs and retaliate during the boss fight, which is okay. Everything's okay. It's just the boss itself does too much damage. Enough said. Let's move on. So besides the bosses and the main game mechanic of your arm and glory kills, you also obtain core enchantments, which are passives that you gain during your run for better survivability. Pretty straightforward. I have no complaints on there. You get up stats on health or armor depending on what you pick up. It covers 3 main aspects: shield regeneration from either takedowns or after combat, as well as fortify and fury, an all-time favorite. Fury increases your overall damage every time you kill an enemy for a set amount of time. Fortify is a damage reduction that protects you from incoming damage for 1 hit. But it's kind of on the weak side considering what I mentioned before about not getting iframes during your takedowns. So whatever fortified you gain during it, you hope to not get hit, or else you'll instantly lose it. But the other 2 are pretty nice. They get the ball rolling. I really recommend the game. Give it a shot. It's worth the try. There's a couple things I did not like about it, mainly for controller players, and that would be I had issues where I would crash constantly if I were to connect a controller after the game started, after I was in the lobby, if I was, midway through. I guess the game just can't handle plugging in or unplugging a controller. The solution for this is have your controller plugged in and ready before you start the game. It should be looked at. Second thing is in the main menu, if you want to adjust your controller sensitivity, it's really hard to fidget with the right decimal point you want. I hope the devs make it more smoother, or at least have it to where it can adjust in smaller increments to get that fine tuning. The third thing, and I'm not too sure if this is an issue, but as good as the music is and as good as your character sound effects are, I felt like I couldn't hear enemies at all. It almost felt like they were non-existent. They only existed if I was looking at them. I couldn't hear them coming. I couldn't like. I would like more audio cues, or at least louder sound effects on enemies themselves, so I can distinguish what I'm fighting. Sound is very important. But other than that, the game has been very enjoyable thus far. I'm getting what I expected from the game, and I'm only looking forward to updates further down the line that make it better.